Have you ever met someone who isn't necessarily the loudest in the room, but whose presence changes the room? They have a certain gravity, a calm that seems unshakable. In our world, we often mistake intelligence for quick answers or sharp debates. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of inner strength, saw it differently. Though for them, true intelligence wasn't about what you know, it was about how you move through the world. It was a quiet, practical wisdom. Today, we're not talking about IQ scores or trivia champions. We're exploring 5 subtle signs, informed by Stoic insight, that point to a deeply intelligent mind. See if you recognize them in someone you admire, or perhaps in yourself. Let's begin with the first sign, which is often the most misunderstood. 1. They listen to understand, not to reply. Think of the last difficult conversation you had. Was your mind already crafting your defense while the other person was still talking? Most of us are. We treat conversation like a duel, waiting for our turn to speak. The highly intelligent person, through a Stoic lens, does something radically different. They practice what the Stoics called prosociattention. They give you the full weight of their focus. They're not just collecting your words. They're listening for the feeling behind them, the unspoken assumption. They ask questions that open doors, not ones that shut them down. This isn't just politeness. It's a strategic understanding that you cannot possibly learn. You cannot possibly navigate a situation correctly if you are only listening to the sound of your own inner voice. Their intelligence here is the recognition that every person they meet is a living library, and they are there to read, not to simply add another book to the shelf, which leads us directly to the second sign. They manage their energy, not just their time. We all get the same 24 hours. We don't have the same inner resources. The highly intelligent individual understands a fundamental truth, that every interaction, every task, every piece of media is an exchange of energy. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote reminders to himself about this. He'd caution himself about the people and pursuits that spoil by being in them. He was auditing his emotional energy. So, you'll see them walk away from pointless arguments, not because they can't win, but because winning would cost too much. They'll create silent spaces in their day. They say no to good opportunities to protect their capacity for great ones. This isn't antisocial behavior. I'd see the intelligent management of the only true currency they have to offer the world. Their focused, undistracted self. And that protected energy allows for the third sign, which is perhaps the most powerful. They are comfortable with "I don't know." In a culture that rewards certainty, admitting ignorance feels like weakness. But the Stoics saw the universe as vast, complex, and ultimately beyond any one person's full comprehension. Seneca spoke of the wise man who is always a student. The highly intelligent person has made peace with the edges of their understanding. When faced with a question they can't answer, they don't bluff. They don't deflect. You might say, "That's an excellent question. I don't have the answer, but I'd like to find out." There's a profound confidence in that. It reveals a mind that is secure enough not to be a fortress, but rather a workshop, always under construction, always open for new materials. Their intelligence lies in knowing that the map is not the territory, and they are always willing to redraw the map. This humility paves the way for the fourth sign, which governs their entire relationship with the world. They separate what is within their control from what is not. This is the bedrock of Stoic philosophy. Epictetus began his entire handbook with this principle. Some things are within our power, while others are not. The highly intelligent person has internalized this. It's their operating system. You'll see it in how they respond to stress. They pour immense effort into their own actions, their own judgments, their own responses, the things within their inner citadel, but they release their grip on external outcomes. Other people's opinions, past mistakes, or future uncertainties, the things outside it. This isn't passivity, it's intense focus. It means they aren't wasting intellectual and emotional processing power trying to change the unchangeable. They are, in a sense, mental minimalists. They conserve their brilliant computational power for the one equation they can actually solve themselves. That is the pinnacle of practical intelligence. And finally, all of this culminates in the fifth and most telling sign. They seek the lesson, not the validation. When something goes wrong, our primitive instinct is to find someone or something to blame. To protect our ego, the highly intelligent person has a different instinct, to find the pattern. They approach failure and criticism like a scientist approaches a curious result. There's no shame, only data. The Stoic saw every obstacle, every criticism, as the gymnasium for the soul, a place to train and grow. Yeah. So after a setback, while others are complaining, you'll find them asking, what did this reveal? What assumption was I making? How can this make my approach stronger? They are not driven by looking smart. They are driven by becoming wise. Their goal isn't to be right at the finish line, it's to have traveled the most instructive path. So, let's review. The signs of this Stoic-inspired intelligence are 1. Listening to understand. 2. Managing their inner energy. 3. Being friends with, 4. Knowing what they can control and what they cannot. And 5. Chasing the lesson every single time. You may have noticed something about all 5 of these signs. None require a prestigious degree. None require a high-speed mind. They are choices. They are disciplines. They are a way of seeing and then a way of being. True intelligence, in the Stoic sense, is not about the knowledge you accumulate on your shelves. It is about the calm you cultivate in your soul and the clarity you bring to your corner of the world. It is ultimately available to anyone willing to practice it. Thank you for watching. If this perspective resonated with you, consider subscribing for more. Love to hear in the comments which of these 5 signs you find yourself drawn to practice most.